everyone. We are back with another episode with Grow with the VS. This time, not only will we share the wisdom, but we are going to have a little fun game with our guest. I'm Anjali Sethia.
And I'm Kritika Sethia. But before we invite our super guest of the day, here's little one-to-one something from us to you. While running a business, we deal with n number of clients in a day. Mind you all, it's so important to break the stigma, the stereotype, and the cliched way of doing a business or creating an art or creating a dish for that matter.
And with that thought, we, with our overwhelming excitement, would love to welcome Mr. Archit Agarwal from The Life of Simple Treats. Some of you would also recognize him as Archit Lost. He's a food blogger, and today we are gonna discuss with him the nose and hows of everything that surrounds the digital food for thought and much more. Welcome, Archit. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. That was a great introduction.
Yeah, so to kick things off, we would like to know what manifested you to become a food blogger, break the barrier, choose to follow what has been your passion, and simultaneously with 9 to 5 job, grow digitally, and how. Also, the platforms like TEDx, NewsX, TOI, The Print, and so many more have featured you to inspire millions. So, how have you unlocked that milestone?
Yeah, so that's a lot of questions packed into one, but definitely, I didn't start thinking that I'll become like an influencer in any way. The goal was to kind of just, create content and explore a different side of my brain and be like a little bit more creative. So, I think corporate jobs tend to keep you away from that, and this became like an opportunity to kind of explore some of that. I was never really interested in cooking until I went to college, and that's where I realized that like I have to make my own food because college can be and I studied in America, so like food portions and everything was so large that I was just growing a kilo every month, so it was just crazy. So I had to like kind of like deviate off and build something of my own. And when I came back from America, I realized that it'll take me some time to get a job, so I started just like cooking, and a friend of mine actually pushed me to make a blog and publish it. So that's where it started. And I never had a goal to like make money and things like that. I just wanted to like make food and have like something to push me to make that food, really. That's what the blog did. And now it's crazy, right? I think lockdown has been a crazy journey, and in general, like I think the food has just grown and content has grown and people's appreciation has grown, so that's just really great.
Okay, so we would blame Corona for getting us such an amazing food blogger in the market.
You're not wrong. I think that's not a bad thing to say. Yeah, definitely. I think Corona has, it's awful, but what it has done is that it's made people a lot more, focus a lot more on their own personal agencies. Like, you tend to kind of explore and understand how you can fend for yourself. It's almost Darwinian in that way, that you're actually trying to learn skills that are essential for your life that you otherwise would never have learned. So cooking has become one of those things, and crazy amount of people have just started cooking so much. So it's been I'm glad that I'm a vehicle for some of them to kind of push them.
And baking being the most popular one.
Yeah, baking without an oven being the most popular one. That's the biggest conversation I've had, is how do you bake without an oven? It's crazy.
All right. So how do you manage to create a recipe, the content, the edits, the aesthetics that you provide to your community online? Like you surely must involve a great amount of efforts and time. So what's your curation process?
Yeah, it takes a lot of time. I think the curation process for finding the recipes and like building my own are definitely like a very long process. A lot of them come from in my time in college, where I used to be really inspired by a lot of recipes and realized I don't have the ingredients for it. So then how do you recreate those flavors and tastes? So a lot of those recipes are on the blog. And now since I'm back, I'm actually focusing a lot more on, okay, how do you take something inertly Western or inertly difficult, and how do you kind of create something that is a lot more accessible? So that's what I try to do. And I think recipe creation process is like 2 to 3 weeks. Then the production itself takes another week and a half to do, because it's very meticulous and all of it is done by me, so it takes a lot of time. And I think it's just, the blog gave me the opportunity to learn those skills, right? So like I wasn't really dependent on a whole team of people who were doing editing for me and things like that. I mean, I have branched out a little bit now, but the goal has always been to, how do you learn these skills, because they are accessible to everyone. And learning that has been the big skill here.
And then present it in a way that, it attracts and...
Yeah. Absolutely. I think presentation is something that I a lot of my skill came from my mother. She's a fashion designer. So she worked a lot on design and things like that. She was the president of Fab India for the last 4 years. She's been doing that. So, a lot of my aesthetics come from what we have at home. And then building off of that, for sure.
All right, that's amazing. And as you were talking about the lockdown and how it has done wonders for people online, especially for bloggers. So for budding bloggers, would you like to share the monetization part of the industry, considering how essential it has been?
Yeah, I think monetization part of it, one, like if someone is trying to become a blogger for money, don't do it. It's not the best way. You can study for CAT and get more money. I promise you, it takes a lot longer to do that. But if you are interested in like creating your own craft and then trying to find avenues to be remunerated for it, I think it's a great opportunity. Freelancer work is hard. Unlike most freelance work here, there isn't a formalized business. There is no formalized rules of engagement. So every brand you work with has a very different way of looking at how do we remunerate you. I think I'm saying that word wrong, but okay, we'll go with it. You can like put it in the bottom, like he's saying it wrong. But I think definitely like it's very hard to make money, but there are opportunities for sure. Like today you can make content for other people, so that's a big thing. Like you can make recipes and things for people and have that as one channel of commerce. The other is depending on the types of platforms that you have, so Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, a blog, all of them have the opportunity to be monetized as well. So you can have ads, you can do amplification. There are lots of different ways to do it. I think the uniqueness of this business also is the fact that you can be very unique in how you try and promote a brand, and the more unique you are, the better sell you do. So it's very interesting that way, that you have to just understand what platforms there are, what formats there are, and then how do you make the most for you and your client.
Amazing, Archit. I think we have a lot of takeaway today from you of how you do, how it benefits to be a blogger. It's not easy. It's very time taking. We understand, and I think all your audiences who will be watching you today will have a lot of takeaway. Seriously.
Thank you.
That's amazing. You have a great journey ahead, but without we cannot bid adieu to you without a short game that has been specially curated from us to you.
Awesome.
Okay, so the game and its rules are very simple. We'll tell you the dish's name in English, and you have to tell us a Hindi name for that. And elementary for you, you will only get 5 seconds. So easy peasy, right?
Okay. Sure.
We'll start with a trial first, okay?
Okay.
So what do you call a shallow fried cottage cheese gram flour popcorn?
Gram flour pop. Okay. Shallow fried. So it would be Sikawa paneer popcorn, paneer besan popcorn pakoda, something like that.
You were good.
Pakoda.
Paneer pakoda.
That's
so this
a
was a
popcorn.
try.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So also with basin, that reminds me of your beautiful dog. So for those who don't know, that Archit has named his dog unusual Basin. So
yeah,
it's little, it's cute yet little faint. So what's the story behind that?
Yeah, I mean, so Basin, I mean, we named him Basin because, he's a Rottweiler. So, like, he's not like a lab, and like people don't like automatically when you say Rottweiler, people aren't like, oh, kuchi kuchi ku, they're like scared. Like it's a, there's a stigma around that, right? So I needed to name him something that was a little whimsical, just so that it like drops people off their guard. The other thing is that I did want a name in Hindi because if you have like a Tommy or anything, then other people will mispronounce it very oftenly, and that's just not fun for the dog or me or anyone else. So it needed to be more indigenous. And then thirdly, I wanted a name that was gender neutral. That was just like there's no reason for it. I think that gender neutral names need to be out there a lot more. So that's why Basin.
That's quite an unusual name, seriously.
The name, but it's really cool. Okay, so back to the game. Okay, now we are starting. We'll give you 4 questions. That's how many?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Next one is okay. Yeah, the next one is chicken snack consisting of puffed rice and majorly onions.
Poha. No, puffed rice. Can you say that again?
Chicken snack consisting
Pickles.
of puffed rice and majorly onions.
I have no clue. What is this? Oh my god. Pickle?
Time's up.
Oh my god, what is it?
Okay.
Bhel.
Bhel, oh my god. Pickled snack? Pickled? Really?
Chicken snack consists of puffed rice. Puffed rice is bhel.
Yeah. Okay, fair.
Okay. Let's do the next one.
Okay, we go easier.
So okay, now this one is easy. So
Acha, theek hai.
pizza is a must. So a sweet made of a coil of batter, fried and steeped in a syrup.
Jalebi. Okay, finally.
Next one. The next is balls of fried dough filled with onions, spices, or lentils.
So it's like a pyaz pakoda, right? No?
You are
Dal
somewhere.
pakoda, something like that.
Dough, fried dough.
Fried dough, I got that. Fried dough.
Lentils, sometimes lentils, sometimes onion.
Oh my god, you guys are really challenging me. I have no idea. This is so embarrassing. What is it?
It's kachori. Chicken.
Arey, oh my god. Yes. Soft fried dough with, yeah, that makes sense. Clearly, I need to like brush up on this. I need to get ready for Diwali.
Okay.
Oh.
A last one.
So the last one.
Okay.
Thin, crispy, fermented batter, semolina pancake.
Dosa?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay, not bad. 50.
50%. Yeah. Almost as good as my both scores. It's fine.
All right. Thank you so much, Archit. It was so much so much fun having you here with us on board and knowing your journey.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, wish you good luck and best of health. Keep cooking and keep inspiring.
Thanks, guys. You too. Bye-bye. Have a great day.
Hope all of you have enjoyed today's episode as much as we did. So stay tuned and do not forget to like, share, subscribe and also comment.
The VS signing off.